If you're new here, welcome. And to my regular fan base, welcome back. So, in this live video, I'm going to talk about yesterday's final hearing. Or what was seemingly the final hearing. However, it's a good thing, I think. Because I like to think that although it was originally a 3-day hearing, at the expense of sounding narcissistic, what I've been accused of by the local authority, and all these like disingenuous, fabricated, false statements about me to accentuate my record, to accentuate my actions, to accentuate what I've done, making me come across in such a bad way. And I chose this, I did, to represent myself. And there's a thing in court lingo terms that's called being cross-examined. So I went through so much cross-examination by like over the course of the 3 days in total from I believe 7 types of different authority members. It was a lot. And yesterday they saved their worst for last and tried to break me. And they hounded me with the cross examination. Speaking to the judge as well directly when I was on mute. They put me on mute because I kept interrupting. But there's a typed chat box in the Teams, and I kept typing out. Hang on a second, this doesn't add up. Hang on a second, I've been accountable here. Hang on a second, their actions don't reflect their words right here because I've submitted proof of this. And even although people proclaim they don't read the chat box, come on, man, we know that's bullshit. Because why would the chat box be there to begin with? And I saw the judge's eyes dart from side to side. Side note, he's a good man. I'm not saying I'm going to necessarily win this, nor do I want to get cocky. I do wish to say that I do think that by being accountable, by like being accountable for my actions, not just blame shifting like everybody else, but by being accountable for my own actions, my belief is that this is a breath of fresh air to a judge because they're so used to like I even acknowledged things begrudgingly from the authorities' viewpoints as opposed to mine. Um, Introspecting, you know, and really, and I did that, and I know that that's a psychological hack tactic to enhance your authority when you admit your wrongdoings and be accountable yourself. That increases your authority when you put things across yourself because you've acknowledged the other viewpoint and where you've agreed, you've put that forth to the judge. In this instance, me. But I just wish to say that it was a great day, but the judge has adjourned it. What was supposed to be a final decision yesterday, he's adjourned it until I believe he said the 14th or 15th of May. The reason as to why, in my opinion, I'm not saying I'm factually correct, but in my opinion, is this. Um, A, I think that everybody was shocked with how I came across at the ends, with strength. The biggest thing you can do is underestimate somebody. That's the biggest mistake you can do. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not, but I don't pretend to be perfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. I know I'm fucked up. What the system did to me. I've come a long way though. But I don't pretend to be perfect. I don't. I know my talents. I know my weaknesses. Um, a lot of people they pay attention to their weaknesses where they're anxious. I just acknowledge my weaknesses and what I'm good at. I put that energy into what I'm good at so I can excel at things. You see, I've heard the expression "jack of all trades, master of none." So so stick with me. I'm making a point here. So it's like if you focus on everything, like I'm shit at DIY. I have to pay somebody to come do the job. I'm that guy, right? Or technology is another thing. I'm terrible at technology. Really. I'm really bad at technology, but I'm learning as I go along. But I don't fret about it. I focus on, okay, I'm shit at technology, so I need a virtual assistant. But then what does that do? That gives me the opportunity to focus what I'm good at and to excel at that. That's telling the story. That's documenting to a T me and my son's comeback story. You know, with the voice recordings, the video, the contact center, we're just getting started up in here. Road to 1K, here we come. The interest is there as much. But, you know, I'm dropping many insights. And as I said in the last video, you're never alone, man. You're never alone. People, like, they're getting fucked over left and right, excuse my language, by the system and authority. And it's my wish to serve other people as a beacon of light, to showcase what's possible. Because if I can do this, if I can win this, and I'll get back to the judge momentarily, but if I can win, and when I say win, I'm just talking about seeing my son again in the community. I'm talking about seeing him for his 7th birthday, which I'm pushing for. Because 2 years on, it's still a civil matter. It's not yet been proven. My son wants his father to be there. And he's getting older now. He's becoming awakened and aware now, educated and empowered now as he's growing more. Children, they don't lie. You know, they feel things. They can't be manipulated because they're too pure, they're too real. And that's why I always make my child feel with emotional immersion. Make your child feel, you know, instead of dumping a device in front of them all the time. Use emotional immersion, positive energy, variables, be creative, resourceful. Everything I've illustrated up to this point. But now getting back to the judge here, because this ties me beautifully back into that segue with the judge. So, yesterday I submitted a fuck ton of evidence, and that's including many videos, voice recordings, and I think this, I'm not saying that it's fact, my opinion, I like to think that this, in conjunction / addition to and with, as to where that, relating to where I handled myself at the end of the day 3 of court proceedings yesterday, I like to think that for these 2 reasons, this is why it's been adjourned. And I also wish to say as well that have you seen the film 8 Mile? 8 Mile. I'm sure many of you have, because I relate to that a lot. You know, in Slim Shady, Eminem, Marshall Mathers, when he's been grinded down and grinded down and grinded down, and then he comes back because everybody said all these bad things about him, which aren't true, which are most of it's lies. But then they run out of things to say. It becomes boring. Then they run out of things to say, and then with that point in mind, when Eminem did the rapping back, Eminem / Marshall Mathers / Slim Shady, when he raps back, he goes at the end, here, tell something these people don't know about me, if people remember that. He had no answer, the rapper, when it was back to him. By the same token, in a different way, it's the same with me and the authorities. Because, you know, it's, at the end of the day, they did their utmost best to break me. They did. And believe you me, it was very difficult. It was tough to keep composed and to keep my cool. You know, there were times I had to walk out of the room and pretend to go to the toilet because I was seething in rage of what they were saying. But I kept it together. I made a vow to myself and to my son that I'll keep it together. And before, because I want to show 2 videos of that just ties into my authority of how I make my child feel, you know, with variables of connection. Admittedly, I'm going to show a video I showcased in a few lives ago because it's my most favourite one, and I do think people will enjoy seeing it again. I've also got another one lined up as well. But before we get to that, I just wish to say and put forth that when you're real and you don't know how to be fake, but you have to learn to be fake. You have to learn the court lingos. You have to learn to be political. Well, it makes you very dangerous. Not in a fighting way, not in a threatening way, no. But in a, like, when you have to defend yourself, and when, to the point where, um, you know, where it's just complete truth, but you have to defend yourself, of a higher cause that's much grander than yourself, and that's your own biological son, your child. You're gonna drop truth bombs, and I had to learn to be like, a, a I am a wolf. I'm not a sheep. I had to learn to be a wolf in sheep's clothing whilst going the trial and blurring that line between being very authentic and real versus, uh, the court political logistics. I will say the judge was highly compassionate. He knows I'm representing myself. I do believe I've got it well beyond my speaking, capabilities, in terms of like how, powerfully I can come across. It's just the restraint I lack because I'm not trained, and the judge knew I'm not trained, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's making gestures. Oh, he's doing this wrong. Oh, he's doing." Well, it's like my second time in trial. Of course, I'm going to make mistakes. The judge was very compassionate and lenient. I will say that. He called me out a lot as well. He did. So he's a good man. He's a good judge because he called me out on many things too and kept me in check. But I felt overall he was, empathetic and compassionate, and I feel like I'm going to get a fair outcome. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's going to be fair because it's yet to be proven. My son wants his father. Um, I've called the authorities out on their many lies. It's been proven and submitted to the judge. Oh, we'll get to that. In future uploads, we'll get to that. You're going to hear the voice recordings. You're going to hear everything. Because this concludes the contact center chapter of me and my son's comeback story. There are going to be a few more videos before contact was submitted, going back to when I was speaking about parental alienation due to, and excuse that I've got a message on WhatsApp. Didn't hate when it happens when you do a live. Anyway, got future uploads to come of when I was speaking about, parental alienation, lending itself towards or to the victory outcome as well. And you'll see me in the live video in the future uploads where I was told I can see my son for his 7th birthday. And this is due to the stacked upon stacked upon stacked upon stacked upon stacked evidence, compounded evidence stacking in order to create leverage for yourself, to protect and insulate yourself from all the egregious, disingenuous, false, deplorable, sick lies told about you. This is how you do it. And I'm going to teach everybody how to do it. The world needs to hear this because too many men, women too, but too many men go through this. And if I can do this, where I've come from in my past, and if I can do this, anybody can do it. You just need to learn how to do it. And that's what I'm going to teach. I finally wish to say and put forth, and I'm just going to shut my door here because the washing machine's done. Ding, ding, ding. As soon as you send a live video, you're going to get noise everywhere. The ding from the WhatsApp. F you phone. Washing machine in the background. Ding, ding, ding. F you washing machine. That's life. That's the universe that is trying to, it's about emotional control. It took me a long time to realise this. But I wish to say just one more thing before proceeding to the next part of this video of this live video with 2 videos that I wish to put on this live video, if this makes sense. I just wish to say, and I've got this written down, it makes you very dangerous when you don't know how to be fake, but you have to learn to be fake whilst being real to the core. I not only hanged with them, I embarrassed them, the authorities. So much so that when it was my turn to speak last at the end, after being cross-examined and interrogated by everyone else, which was exhausting, as they tried to get me to break so many times. I know that they are just doing their job, but it's sick. But I made notes of everything that they put forth and came back with authenticity, purity, and truth powerfully. I kept myself accountable and not just deflect like most people, and it has served me very well with the judge. I like to think that the aforementioned points, in addition to the many variables of evidence that I have sent to the judge from my voice recordings and videos of my son's interaction with his biological father together, he needs time to go over everything. In other words, he is given a final verdict next week. I think I'll be okay. I don't wish to jinx it, but the judge has been highly compassionate and has even defended me on many occasions due to me being accountable and also representing myself, I feel. I think there will be a fair outcome for everyone. Humility, grace, and love will be the answer, and a very good friend of mine taught me this. So I just wish to say that it's about, even if I've been fucked over, I begrudgingly tying into the love parts. Not love as in like I love you, but love as in having to just accept the situation. It is what it is. You're doing your job, but I'm also doing my job as my son's biological father. I think it's just a case, and I put this forth at the ends, towards the end of the day yesterday. I said to the judge, love is the answer. We need to all find a way to work together as a cohesive unit for Austin, for my son. Because it's my lack of life experience. They won't proclaim this, the authority. They won't say it. They're going to do the gutless, cowardly thing and revert to the criminal history, which is past, underlined, bold, italic style font, capital letters, past. 10 years not being charged, few years not being arrested. Environment is everything. But when you live with madness, when you live with heroin addicts, when you shooting heroin in their arms, when you live with crack addicts, when you live with schizophrenia, yeah, it's going to fuck you up. Yeah, you're going to go off the rails. And I did for a very long time. But when you have peace around you and you've got a peaceful environment, that's the difference. So I put this forth to the judge for effect at the end. And, but what I'm saying is, I also said that to the judge, that I think the authority, they're doing the gutless, cowardly thing, because they will be ashamed based off my past, where I lived. I should be like dead right now, or in prison right now, or succumb to the mental health conditions around me right now. But no, meanwhile, I've got my home, a beautiful home, 3-bedroom. Meanwhile, I've got my business, which I'm quite successful at. Meanwhile, I've done more than my part of raising that bright, shining light of mine, my beautiful boy. It's a big shame for the authorities, I think. I'm not saying I'm right factually. I'm not. I'm saying my opinion is indeed that. My opinion. But I firmly feel, in my opinion, that it's embarrassing for the authorities to be somebody who is successful, not just financially, but emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, onto his son. All these things, the inner work I've done to get better, to improve, to grow. Exponentially, I've grown. 8 years in the real world. That's the real reason. But it's not good PR. So that's my opinion. But even if it's untrue, nevertheless, I have to accept the situation. It is what it is, and that they will most likely be involved for quite some time. Do you know what these sick fucks wanted to do? In spite of the fact that this is still a civil matter and yet to be proven, they wanted the non-molestation, an injunction order to go on until my son's a teenager. And the judge, I won't say he has strictly denied that, but I looked at his facials and mannerisms and how he was talking, and I think that's just absurd, and he's thinking that's absurd because it comes down to the age gap, the age discrepancies. His nan's 72. He's 5. There's no way she can keep going. She's getting older. And my son's like a young boy. No, he needs his dad. And my son wants proceedings to end. What does that say about about the truth. If I was a threat to my son, why would he want the proceedings to end? He wouldn't. There's many things I've called them out on, but it has been done for lies, by money, whether it's by the authorities or my son's nan, I don't know. Could be a combination of both. But I can tell you, I'll look you right in your eyes and say, I'm an innocent man. And now I'm just going to showcase these videos because I want to just really, and just because again, making your child feel so that they remember you. Emotional immersion, variables. So I wish to show. I've shown this one already, but I'm going to show this again because it is a beautiful video. Now watch this.
He's upside down though. Do you like him? Yeah. Yeah? Whee! Hello, teddy bear. It's Mr. Shocker. The last pressure is another picker. It's another picker. But it's a t-shirt. Picker, picker, picker. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Show me, show the camera. Show the camera, big boy.
The best present you bring is this present.
Is that the best one? Yeah? Show me your t-shirt.
And the medium one.
Is this the medium one?
Is this one.
Okay.
And the bonus one is this one.
Oh, do you still like that one, even though it's the boringest one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the best one, I get you. Whoop, 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 whoop. You trying to keep Teddy warm?
Yeah.
Right, good lad. The ladies are waiting. We're going to put your jacket on. But this little pick a jacket. And Teddy is nice and warm in the winter time, isn't it? This is good. Give me a smile, big boy.
I like that.
Okay. Are you happy with your parrot? Yeah? Hello. Oh, careful now.
So I just wish to to show that was the shortened version of what I've already put forth. But just for the sake of having showcased it before, I wanted to shorten it for the viewer. But, and this video is 22 minutes in as well. But I also wish to showcase, and this video was at my son's school on the school fair before all these things happened. And you're going to see another layer to the story now. This is at my son's school. 1 second. 3, 2, 1, play. I should have said this is a mixture of my son's school and a whole Facebook story itself. And also a cheap plug, by the way. Sorry about that. Lights from my son there. School fair, right here. Roly poly.
Oh, roly poly, brother. Brings back memories when I was a kid. Yeah, good lads. Good lads. Roly poly, poly, poly.
Go on, Sam.
So let's go, big boy. Big boy. Big boy. Big boy. Woo! Yeah. Oh, he went round there, he went round, he's gone round. How smart. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? trophies here, aren't there? Right. Whoa. Go, baby. Should we go down? Oh, that room is cute. Show Dada. I like this. All right. Nice one.
This is how you solve a Rubik's
Good boy.
That's how you solve a Rubik's cube.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Which is in first place?
Okay.
Yellow.
Here's a second.
I don't think that it's not by seconds. I have to count. So
But blue's your favourite colour, so why isn't blue in first place, big boy?
because it didn't pass the test.
It didn't pass the test.
Yellow.
Oh, got it.
It's bad. Very.
Yes, oh yes. Blue's got to do better.
Put him in
Yes. Yes. Good lad.
front plate is the most luckiest plate.
Ooh.
This one is the most luckiest plate. Wait till we go down that.
Oh, I like it. Got it. Yes, sir.
Which order?
Oh, yeah. Hints, big boy, no hints. You gotta find it yourself. This looks cool, though.
That was cool. Right? Unique to that. Very cool. Look at that. Authenticity, playfulness, his spirit. You know? Authentic spiritual connection. Spirit irritates others' demons. Okay? Trust me. And no one's gonna take this from my son and his father. And for better or for worse, my son's gonna be proud of his dad when he gets older. He will. There's him playing on the castle in the time of his life. But don't you cry no more. Woo! Na, 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 na. So, wow, this video's been a long one, nearly half an hour, but I just wish to say in closing, two things. In the end, the truth's gonna come out, and those masks are going to be ripped, those airtight masks, come crumbling down and coming off their face, you know. I'm going to expose, I've started to really expose everybody with just recordings. That's why, side note, I've got to mention this, that's why the judge, although they're ordinarily permissible as evidence in court, voice recordings, the fact that I'm representing myself in court and everybody has just been nothing nice to say. It's all been bad. I've got to have something to defend myself with. So the judge has allowed me videos and voice recordings. And that's the beautiful thing, because it doesn't lie. And had I had, excuse my phone, had I had been defended in court, two things. One, I wouldn't be allowed to showcase this. And two, you know, my former solicitors, I sacked them. I fired them. I said, no. They said, we want you to come across in the best way. I don't give a fuck about coming across in the best way. I care about coming across in a real, raw, and authentic way. That's what I care about, you know. And it served me very well. I don't want to get cocky, but it served me well. And I came back strong. And I'm proud. And you see that wayward song, the last thing I'll say is, carry on my wayward son. That's going to be, when I get my son back here at this house, whenever that may be, it's going to be our victory song. I'm going to video on one device, and on my other device plays the song. And, you know, Just thought it would be beautiful for a memory. Because I'm all about the memories, you know. 1 till 6, I've just got an encyclopedia of memories of me and my boy, his emotional development. And if nothing else, I'm a fucking good father. I know that much. Yeah, I might be limited in life and this, but I put a lot of work, effort, money into myself, investing in myself to learn from the very best people, to condense years of being protected by the system, to condense all that in a 29 years to be exact. And I'm now 37. And in 2 years of investing in myself, from the best people in the world of speakers, of influence, affluence, educationally speaking, the best events, seminars, tools, strategies as to how I communicate, the art of human connection, when to slow down, when to speak softly, when to speed up, when to speak loud for effect, when to pause. Pauses are important, so it sticks. So many body language, facials, poses, power poses. When do you do this? Lean in. There's many, many things that I've been taught to counter my lack of life experience. I've had to learn to do all these things, gestures, right? So what I'm saying is I've done the work. I have. I really have. And I'm proud. And I'm proud I've never been defeated. I look around me and like I see people just giving up now in the world. But I want to say, look, I've had a very hard life. I have, and if I can keep going, and if I can get my chance, anybody can. And I know it's going to be a fair outcome. I can feel it. I really can. And yeah, I'll keep you all posted for sure. And this just adds another layer to our story. In future videos, I know I promise you this is the last thing I'll say this time. All the contact series is concluded now. I will revert back to what I'd originally sent on Facebook because it's necessary. About 3 or 4 more videos roughly. And then we'll proceed to the next chapter of the voice recording saga. So think of it again like an onion with so many layers. We're just getting started in the storytelling. There's a long way to go. But, and I'm talking years worth, you know. I'm talking years from now when my boy's with his father and just, I mean, I won't talk here because I'm 33 minutes in, but I've got a lot of ideas that are going around in my head. So I'll leave it there for now, but yeah, much love, much respect, God bless. If you made it to the end of this video and consumed it, God bless you, thank you. And yeah, see you in the next uploads. Thank you so much, and much love. Peace.